don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait till you feel ready or feel confident or like you have it all figured out because you just won't. So it's just like, I just think just start messy, start small, but just start and do something. And most people, especially women, become stuck because we overthink things or wait for the perfect time, the perfect plan, but it'll just never come.
Hi, I'm Hutton, a casting producer, entrepreneur, and a mom of two. My life is a mix of building businesses, raising little humans, and figuring it out as I go. This podcast is where we talk about the real side of that: business, healing, motherhood, and becoming the woman that you are meant to be. This is Her Soft Power. Welcome to Her Soft Power. I'm your host, Hutton Salvatore, and today I have Kim Furman. She's a VP with Arbonne, and I am going to let her share a little bit more about what she's passionate about. Welcome to the podcast, Kim.
Thank you so much for having me. So, what I'm passionate about, I mean, just to make it, I guess, short and quick, I love helping other people. So, whether that is with my business, like I love helping other women who want more. I love to empower them to see that they can have, anything that they put their mind to. So, that also comes with like mindset and belief. So, I love like that really is my passion and helping other people. Just with that, I love helping other people that are not in the business just with their health and wellness. We have amazing products that help people with that. Independent of my business, I love fitness, and so I love to help people that want to get physically fit. I mean, I don't. That's not like a business for me, but I just love to help others. With fitness as well too. I love nachos. That's a passion.
Have you
So
been in the fitness world or like working out most of your life or since motherhood? Like, when did that come into play for you?
So I've always been an athlete.
Okay.
I played competitive soccer, and I played soccer in college at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and so I've always been like physically into athletics. And it wasn't until I think before it was before kids that I started changing from just like cardio to like I need to lift some weights,
Yeah.
and then just realize like how that changed my body and how good I felt. So it's been a while. It's been over 14 years now of and it's actually slowly gone from less cardio to more strength training because I've seen that's the biggest difference. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I see all the strength training you do, and you're incredible. Yeah. So tell me a little bit. I don't think we mentioned, but you have twins. So you have
hmm
teens that are twins. So I know that's a struggle. And with motherhood, so you were a teacher before formally, right?
hmm
How did you make that transition? And tell us a little bit about it.
So the transition from being a teacher into what I'm doing now.
Yeah, exactly. And how motherhood maybe played a part. I don't know, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I was introduced to Arbonne 11 years ago. I had never heard of Arbonne. I didn't know what it was, but I was teaching. I taught sixth grade for 13 years total, but so I had been teaching sixth grade. And my twins were two at the time. So like I said, I'd never heard of it. I'd never thought of doing any sort of business like this, but I was like secretly looking for a way to get ahead because everything is so expensive where we live. And I was tired of, like saying no to things and kids are expensive and we like to travel and we wanted to redo things in our backyard. And I'm like, how is this ever going to happen doing what we're doing? So I was like online, I was like looking for like, how can I make money, online and maybe I could fill out forms or just stupid stuff that was like never going to work. So, I was thinking about that. The other thing too is I clearly remember this was like a turning point. My kids were raised by daycare. Like I would, my husband would drop them off and he would pick them up. The daycare lady actually, the daycare would pick them up. And a lot of times the preschool teachers like thought the daycare lady was their mom, but
Yeah.
I was just missing out on things. And I just remember it was their second birthday party and our daycare lady who we love came over and my daughter only wanted her. She wanted nothing to do with me. And I was like, I remember going out to the garage and crying. And I was like, this is awful. Like, this is awful. And I don't know what to do. So I just, ideally, I was like, if there's any way that I could have more time, that would be amazing. But I just didn't know how it could happen. So fast forward, I was in my classroom one day and one of my friends who I went to high school with, he was our VP of our middle school. And he told me about his wife who was also a teacher. She was a PE teacher with young kids, and she started a business called Arbonne, which I'd never heard about. And she was making a six-figure income with Arbonne while teaching. And I was like, what? Like, how is this even possible? And I just thought, like, well, if she could do that, I don't think I could do that, but if she could do that, maybe I could make like an extra $1,000 a month. So I got really excited about the possibilities. I had a million hesitations and I had to work through those, mostly because it was like belief in myself. But I ended up jumping in because I was like, what if it works? I was and because of that, I was really coachable. I had to get like uncomfortable and get outside of my comfort zone, but I just stuck with it. And after a year and a half, I had done what my friend did and was able to retire from my teaching job. So it's been over 9 years now. And the best part now is just the time that I have to be there for my kids. Now I'm their Uber driver, but to be there for them is the best.
It's incredible. It's such a empowering story, I think, because just my history, I've had a little bit of history with Arbonne, but I just didn't I felt like I was coachable too, but I don't know if I had the right coach, so I'm really
Yeah.
excited to be working with you now.
Yeah.
But it is kind of hard if you go in a little bit blindly. I mean, I don't know, I didn't know anything about it either. So I was
Hmm.
just learning as I went and just trying to educate myself and educate my family and friends as I was going. So how did that look for you? Were people put off by it at all? Because that was my biggest, I think, pain point. And I know it was probably my lack of belief now that I'm at the point I'm at. But
Yeah.
going
Well,
back.
and I think when you start, actually, I know when you start, you're expecting like your closest family and friends to support you.
Yeah.
And it's usually not the case. Usually it's like the opposite. They need to like watch you. So I definitely had a bunch of friends that like they came to some things and I had some friends that bought some stuff. I had some of my closest friends that like were just like, I'm not into it, but they watched me. And then as they watched me become more successful, then they came around. But I still have friends to this day that have never supported me, and it's okay. It's kinda like if I were to own a restaurant, I would hope my friends would come in, but if they didn't, that's okay. I can't my business needs more than just my friends and family to be successful. So, I just kept going because there's so many people that we know that you can talk to that maybe aren't your closest people. And then my mom was actually and I don't she probably doesn't even remember this today, but I told her that I was gonna start a business with Arbonne, and she laughed in my face because she's like, "You're not super outgoing. You don't talk to a lot of people. You're not in sales. You're a teacher. Like, why are you doing this?" Which was totally true. I had, like, 0 clue. But I just was like, "You know what? She's not paying my bills. Like, she's not giving me extra income, and she's not giving me extra time. So I'm gonna do this because what if it works?" So, it's hard, but you have to just, those other people's opinions are not paying your bills, and that's why you just have to keep moving on. And so, I mean, the mindset piece is so important in this.
Yeah, I love this so much. What would be the most challenging thing about growing your Arbonne business, I guess? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's I think it's the mindset. So, if you are focusing on your belief and that you can do this and have success, and you're working on your belief daily, then you can have success. But on the other hand, if you're not working on that belief and that mindset, it's so easy to get discouraged, especially when you have people that say they're going to join you and they don't join you. You have people that say they're going to buy and they don't buy. Like that's hard. I think probably the hardest part is when you have, or you have people that have started with you and joined you, and you've poured into them, and then they just quit and they give up on themselves. I think that's probably one of the hardest things for me is I can't control other people. And you don't want to see people give up on themselves. And that has so much to do with mindset, but that's also part of this business is there's a lot of people that will go give up on themselves, but there's also a lot of people that won't. So it's just that mindset and that you have to keep going because there's so many other people out there that I can help.
Yeah.
But if you don't do the mindset part, it's so easy just to talk yourself out of it and be like, this doesn't work, and then just settle back to what you're doing.
Yeah. And I think one of those things, like you said, like your family and friends may not be the first people that support you. And I think when you start out, you do like a lot of those parties or, events where you're trying to get people to learn about the products. So you are inviting family and friends. And so that was a big mindset shift for me with the business, I think, too, because in the beginning, I was really down and hard on myself. Like you said, like, why aren't my family and friends
Yeah,
supporting her?
yeah,
And I have other businesses and, I did experience with like my clothing business, they came and they supported and they bought things, so I was very taken back when I started Arbonne, and it wasn't quite the same. And so what I was going to ask was, back obviously now our digital culture is so different that we have the ability to reach so many more people.
Mhm.
So it should hopefully open your mindset to that. As far as, like, when you started, was it different? I mean, I know social media was different. So
Yeah.
how did you share? How did you get out there? Were you pounding the pavement? Did you have parties?
Yeah.
What was your MO?
So, yeah, it's definitely a lot different today.
Yeah.
I was on social media and I definitely shared and I definitely was able to reach people that I would have normally not if I wasn't on social media. But our system back when I started was in-home events. Like the goal was to have 8 a month. And I was like, how am I going to do that? And I had some people help me out and host for me in the beginning, but then it turned into, well, if I share this business, I'm going to help other people. So my events are going to be helping them, like launch them. Yeah, it wasn't literally, and we did some Zoom things. It wasn't literally until after or during the pandemic that we were like, okay, we need to figure out how this can work online as well too. I mean, today we still do. I think belly to belly is like, especially like if you can get belly to belly, it's the best because being able to like see someone and be in their presence
Yeah.
and sample the products is awesome, but not everyone's local. People are busy. So, I mean, we do in person, we do Zoom, we do things called text parties now, which are really fun. And then just sharing. I just always think sharing your story and sharing how you incorporate products in the business into your life on social media is very helpful. But yeah, when I first started, I would just share some things here or there, but it wasn't like it is today at all.
Yeah, because now you can, I mean, there's, like, Bond Social Club. I see you can get into, like, a community where you can get
Mhm.
assets, digital assets and stuff that you can share.
Yeah.
I think that's really unique, and, yeah, I don't know if that was around when I started. I think that's newer page, I noticed. Yeah, but there's a lot out there, I think, which makes it more versatile, and I think the interesting thing is now these pop-ups, like these community events with, wellness vendors, they are very, what's the word? Everybody's seeking them right now.
Mhm. Yeah.
Whereas in the beginning, I think we were kind of pioneers with Arbonne, especially you were, with going to the houses and setting up the events and stuff. Because at first, I know, like, I experienced it was kind of like, what is this? What are we doing?
Yes.
And now it's like everybody's popping up an event like this. And
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's kind of a niche time to get into, I
Mhm.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah. How would you say that you regulate, like, your nervous system and, building a business, motherhood, all the things that, encompass your life? How do you stay regulated?
Honestly, I think for me, it is so much having to do with just physically moving my body, just the endorphins you get from exercising. It just makes me so much, it just makes me productive, like how I think, how I respond, how I lead. Just movement is such a huge part. So, working out, obviously sweating or lifting or whatever, or even just walking and getting outside just hits my reset button. And for me, it's especially on the hard days, there's been times where it's just like I don't feel like working out, but then I work out and I'm like, "Oh, so glad I did that. I feel so much better." So, I can be stressed, but once I move my body, like everything changes. And from there, I'm able to be, consistent and just lead in a better way. But if I don't have that daily movement, it's so easy for me just physically not to feel well, but also just mentally not to feel as great. So that's like the biggest for me is just moving my body. It just changes everything.
Yeah, that's definitely the key, I think. And you're lucky if you figured out early in life, like you were an athlete. I wish that I was.
Yeah.
Glad I'm teaching my kids that to be that
Yeah.
way too. Yeah. So, how about as far as, like, leadership style? Is there anything that you wanna, touch on about your leadership style and how, I don't know if it's different or anything like that that you wanna share about it?
So, I think by my leadership style, I like to like show my team how to do it, not just tell them. I also am very hands on. Like I lock arms with people and show them like, I want to be not like, oh, call me when you have a problem. Like, no, like let's chat and let's talk and show me your conversations and how can I help you? And message me as many times a day as possible because I want to help people as much as I can. Because in a business like this, you have to lean on your upline to have support and help you out. Otherwise, it's going to feel very frustrating. And
Yeah.
so I think that's a huge part of my leadership style is I just want to be as involved as possible, but I also want people to step into their leadership and feel confident for when that when they have a team that they can lead others, but they have to lead themselves first. So that's like a lot of what I focus on.
I love that a lot. And I like that, one of the things that attracted me to you in the first place is that you are so dedicated to what you're doing. I think it's hard when, everybody, not everybody, but a lot of us are very multi passionate. And that's, like, man, I have so many different things going on. What do you actually do? Right. And that comes into play, I think, a lot. So when you find somebody who you can see this is your passion, this is what you've been doing for a long time, and it shows, it's just more, I guess, attracted to you,
Mhm.
It just automatically you're a magnet rather than
Yeah,
a lot of times we're repelling people and not realizing it by
yeah,
putting so much out there.
yeah.
So, that's one of those things I'm constantly working on, trying to clarify. But I love this. Do you have any like soft power moments lately? I know that we were kind of unsure of that, but I guess the way I define soft power is just like slowing down and getting clear on your action, where you want to be headed, and being able to then rise in that power. So that's sort of what soft power is. I know we were
Yeah,
asked about it.
I guess what comes to my mind is like helping me slow down is like when I'm having failures or like when I'm having hard times or when I feel like I'm having obstacles and being pushed down. It makes me kind of slow down and kind of reevaluate myself and like, what am I doing? Is this working? Is this not working? But really, I think a lot of that just it humbles me and makes me slow down to look at like, I mean, in all aspects of my life, like what I'm doing and how I can push through the hard times. And so I think that's a lot of times, I don't know if that's like I said, I don't know if that really explains it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what comes to my mind.
'Cause that's really what it is too. That's what I had. I mean, I was very in the mindset of like I'm not as far as I should be. I'm not where I want to be yet. All of that. And so I was beating
Yes.
myself up left and right, and I just sort of had to slow down and just
Hmm.
focus and just say, what do I really want to do? Where do you want to be in 2 years, 5 years, etc. And how do you get there, right? And so
Yeah.
and then
And that's so normal. That's so normal because I think we all do that. I mean, and then we compare ourselves to other people, especially with social media, which I'm like, you can't do that. Like, I don't follow a lot of other, unless they're like my friends in Arbonne, I don't follow a lot of people because it's so that are not that are Arbonne people because it's so easy to sit there and compare yourself. And you're like, I don't know what their journey is. They're not my journey. And it's just like, comparison is the thief of all evil, right? So it's just like, no,
that's
because it's
great
so
advice.
easy just to go off the deep end that way and start to compare and think, oh, I should be this far. They've only been in Arbonne this long and look what they've done. And it's just like, nope, you can't do that. You got to stop that.
Wow. I really needed to hear that. Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely, I think, something that I hope a lot of your all of our listeners that are in Arbonne or another networking community, might feel something similar. So I hope that that helps them.
And I
Um,
said it wrong. It's comparison is the thief of joy, not the thief of evil. It's
yes, yes,
comparison is a
comparison is
thief
the
of
thief.
joy. I was like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, it didn't come out right. Yeah,
Yeah, that was just one of those things I added so many people trying to learn about the business and become the best, and I think at the end of the day, maybe trusting your own knowledge and intuition is probably key, and also your algorithm is affected when you're following so many people who are already in that space,
yeah,
then you're not attracting the people who are looking for you. So,
exactly.
that's a fine line too of trying to figure out how to properly, yeah, follow and
Yeah,
find and like the right things.
right. That is the magic question.
Yeah. Well, was there anything that you wanted to leave, our listeners with today, or if you wanna share where we can follow you and all of that?
I guess I know one of the things you had asked was about just like any advice for people that want to build something.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple of things. Just don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait till you feel ready or feel confident or like you have it all figured out because you just won't. So it's just like I just think just start messy, start small, but just start and do something. And most people, especially women, become stuck because we overthink things or wait for the perfect time, the perfect plan, but it'll just never come. So, timing's never going to be right, and the time's going to pass by anyway. So I just kind of think that. Also, just like some other advice for anything that you want to be good at in life, not just, Arbonne, but working out or,
Yeah.
anything, just consistency and being willing to get uncomfortable, having conversations, showing up when you don't feel like it, showing up when people are saying no, working outside, showing up when you're tired or you've got a headache or, you're lazy. It's just doing it because you said you would. That is usually I always tell people, like, they'll say, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm just consistent." And it's not glamorous and it's tedious. And a lot of days there's like no progress made, but just the compounding over time is what really makes it work. So those kind of would be my two pieces of advice is just start, like you don't have to be ready, and then just be consistent, I think is huge. And yeah, my Instagram handle is at K Furman, Phirman. I'm on Facebook too with Kim Furman, but that's it.
Perfect. I will also link and tag you and all that stuff so they can find you. And I can share your Arbonne link as well, and so that they can check it out. If they have any questions, they
Great.
can reach out to you. But it was such a pleasure to have you on today, Kim. It was so nice to finally
Chatting
chat
too.
face to face.
For sure.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Her Self Power. If today's episode resonated with you, share it with a friend who needs to hear it, and go give our guests some love too. All the info is in the show notes as always. You can keep up with everything Her Self Power over at Her Self Power Co. on Instagram. New episodes drop regularly, so make sure that you're subscribed wherever you listen, and I'll see you guys next time.